Hey. Do I ever plan my videos out first? Yeah, sometimes, but some other times I just kind of go for it. And this is one of those times. Okay, here it is. Okay, I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about LED and halogen light bulbs. Let's get you in here. I'll show you a couple light bulbs, or a couple locations anyways. Turn that on. You see I got some little lights up there, and it's got a little slit in it, and see that's just the cover that's got a slit in it. You can slide that around, and there's a thing in there that kind of tilts back and forth. You can kind of direct your light exactly which way you want it. And these happen to be little spotlights. And I'm not going to get up there and get those down, but before you change out a bulb, before you go to the store, you want to get your bulb down first, because even if you think those are halogens, and I knew they were halogens, okay? But let's talk about this for a minute. What kind of halogen to get? That's the $100,000 question. Okay, most halogens look like this. Okay, but did you know that the tips are not always the same? See this one here? Got two thin little tips, and on some others there's a round little knob, two little knobs on there that are a lot fatter than that, and that's why you've got to take your bulb down first. These happen to pull straight out. The knob one kind of fits in a little socket, a little holder where you have to take it and kind of push over, and it seats. So when you take it out, you may not be able to pull it straight out. You might have to kind of push in a little bit, wiggle your mouth just right, hold your breath, and kind of slide it sideways for it to pull out. Okay, that's the first thing. And on these, are all of them the same? No, they're not all the same. Some halogens are 50s, and you can get 35s, and I think even smaller than that, maybe 20. And generally you go outside, sometimes it's hard to see. Well, let's come out here in the light, see if we can't see this. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it or not. Sometimes it's there. See, other times it's up in there. When you look on there, and see that says 12V 50W. W. Okay? Some other times you'll see it somewhere else. Maybe it won't be as nice and dark as that, so you might not be able to see it. You might have to take it outside. Sometimes I have to take bulbs outside to see the writing, because if the writing is up in here and I'm squinting, I can't really see it. You go outside and son of a gun, you can see it all of a sudden. Okay, so this is a 50 watter, 12 volt, 50 watts. Let's take it back in here for a minute. Bring it back in here. 50 watts for this little bulb? How ridiculous is that? Maybe that's too much light. Here, let's bring you over like that. Okay, 50 watt bulb. Good grief, that's a lot of watts for this. And if you've got a lot of these bulbs in your house and you've got these lights on a lot, that takes a lot of electricity, and that costs you money. Now, how can we save any money? Can we save any money on a 50 watt? Well, you could go to the store and you could get one that's 35 watt, and you can change your bulbs in these two locations. Let's say if you put a 35 watt bulb up there, if you just have one, this was the one that was burned out. If I changed that and put a 35 watt bulb in there and left this old 50 watt bulb in there, you're not going to get the same brightness, okay? So if you have a whole lot of bulbs in your house, you want to change them or something, or a couple burned out, you could have both of these 35s if you want. But what else could we do? Well, let's talk about this. Okay, 50 watt regular halogen bulb. Well, you can go to the store and buy a regular 50-watt halogen bulb replacement like for like. And I'm going to put this off to the side. Let's talk about that. You go to the store, if you buy just one of these, it's going to cost you $6, $7, maybe $8 for one. But you can buy a 3-pack for cheaper than you can buy one, okay? And maybe that's what you should do. Or you can also, sometimes they sell this exact same one. I was over at Home Depot, one of the stores that I normally go to, and you can buy a 6-pack just like this for way cheaper than you can buy a 3-pack or just a single one. Now the 6-pack was like $18, $19. Well, this was $7 to buy just one. Okay, and you go and you're going to find a box kind of like this that holds 6 of them for the 50 water. Well, I was looking, I thought, well, maybe I should get the 35 waters and buy a 6-pack. Well, I couldn't find a 6-pack. I could find a 3-pack, but I really was hesitant about that. I was looking around for something else. What do you suppose I found? Look at this. This is from EcoSmart. Now, you don't have to buy them from EcoSmart. You might be able to buy them from something else. And this is LED. See this? LED means it's going to cost you less and it's going to save you some money. Here, see, these are halogens and these are the thin ones. They also have these in the fat replacement ones. You know, the flat little nodule there. And see, look at this, 50 watt. And it's a 50 watt replacement. How many watts is that going to be? I'm holding my hand over there. 50 watts, look at that. Uses only 7.5 watts. 7.5, it's a replacement for this. It's just as bright as this, but it only takes 7.5 watts. Now these cost just a hair more, obviously, than these. Not a whole lot. Let's take a look. I've already replaced it. I'm not going to get up there and replace and show you that. I've got certain videos like that on my channel. You just have to look for it. But let's just pull this out of the box. You see, that's what they look like. And see, I've already replaced that other one. So let's just pull this out for a second. And it looks slightly different. You know, the lens is here. It's got a nice cover. This one doesn't have the little lens. You don't need that. There's a glass cover when you go up there, you know, in your light fixture, and you save that. Okay. Same thing. This takes 7.5 watts. Okay. And the thing I liked about this was it was dimmable. And if I had a dimmer light switch, I could make these dimmable. Did you know that? I just looked on the side of this. Look, it's wet rated and it's dimmable. Now you always want to look at your light bulb replacements, because maybe you want a dimmable light. Okay, how does this work here? I'm going to put this back in the box. You know, I don't necessarily have to have these dimmable, but if I ever wanted to replace it, let's say, with a light switch to dim those lights, you know, silly beanie. Come on. I have to put it back in the box like this? Not really, but I'm going to. Exactly how I got it. And I could get a dimmable light switch and put in here. You know, kind of like, I've got these on my videos too, kind of like this. I've replaced a few dimmable, or a few light switches in here with dimmable ones. Here's the on and off, and then you can dim it, okay, up and down. That happens to be for a light in the dining room. See, I can dim it if I want, or make it brighter or whatever. You could do the same thing over here if you wanted. Wouldn't that might kind of look kind of cool if you wanted to do something like that. You got a single switch, and if you know it's not a three-way switch anywhere else, make sure that when you go to the store you get the right dimmable light switch. You know they have dimmable light switches for three-way switches, which means you can control, maybe if you can control those lights in two locations, one here and one over by the front door, let's say, if it was set up like that. This house is not set up like this. This light switch is just right here, on, off. And like I say, if you want a dimmable, you could put a dimmable light switch in here. But you see, this one that I replaced, I have one like this, exactly like that, still left up there. I didn't take that out, and I could. You could say, hey Joe, why don't you take it out? You got two more bulbs. These are only 7.5 watts instead of 50 watts. What are you doing? Just leaving that other bulb up there. Well, you know, we don't usually have these lights on that long during the day, just at night, maybe for an hour or two. And so they're not on that long. So I'm kind of a miser. In one case, I'm cheap and don't want to spend much money, but on the other hand, I like to save money, and I'm trying to show you how to save money on your how-to projects, especially even when it comes to replacing light bulbs. So the thought could be, hey, I could replace this because I would be saving money on the day-to-day electricity costs if I just changed it with these. These overall, I think this box was about $18, $19 for 3. Okay, so I could take another bulb and replace it over there, and then I could take that bulb that I have, I could save it as an extra, let's say, or maybe I would never use it again. I don't like throwing stuff away that's still good. Maybe it could be used in a pinch if I run out of these. Let's say I used all 3 of those and then the next one burned out and I was in a bind. I couldn't get to the store right away and I just wanted to get it replaced. Well, I could use one of my old ones. Okay, this one here I'm going to throw away now. All right, I don't need that. I was saving that so that I could make this video for you. Hope you learned something. Well, that's all I got for this time. But I'll be back with more videos.